And a beautiful rendition of our national anthem here from the West Quad Gymnasium. And we're about to begin men's volleyball here at the West Quad. It's the Brooklyn College men's Bulldogs against the second year on the volleyball circuit, the SUNY Old Westbury Panthers from Long Island. I'm Jonathan Perriente, along with my broadcast partner Sean Markusic and Pat Brown. And guys, the men's Bulldogs were coming off a couple of tough losses over the past week. One of them was a tough tri-match loss against Rutgers Newark and against St. Joseph's Long Island. I have the stats from the Rutgers Newark game first. That was at the Golden Dome in Newark, New Jersey. And unfortunately, and Pat, you guys have kind of seen this with the men's team, they've struggled along the middle of the court, and it showed in this game. The men fell 25-10, 25-10, 25-19, only had a total of 12 kills, while Rutgers Newark had 39.
Well, I'll tell you, Jonathan, it's Coach Maz has a team that he's trying to mold into his image. He's saying they're a little slow on the fly, but I like the way that they compete. There were some things that he took away from the tri-match that he liked, and we're hoping that he can translate it tonight on the court.
Absolutely, and then of course against St. Joseph's, pretty similar result, 25-12, 25-16, 25-13. The men had a total of just 19 kills to 35 for St. Joseph's Long Island. A lot of the struggles were return errors. Bulldogs had 8 return errors against St. Joseph's, and they had a total of 14 against Rutgers Newark. So this is still a matter of this unit trying to kind of mold itself to what Coach Maz Chowdhury wants them to become.
This team has a lot of young talent. It's just not all there yet. It's not all developed, but they're getting there. This team has a lot to be proud of. They're not going into every game getting the doors blown off game in, game out. They're competing. They're staying hard. They took a set away from Baruch, and it's just minor errors that we've seen this team struggle with. We've seen this team, me and Pat saw last week, them get a couple of points in a row, and one service error completely kills the momentum that they have. So this team just needs to find a way to stay consistent.
Bulldogs right now have lost their last 6 games in a row. Their last win was against the University of Mount St. Vincent back on February 4th.
Well, Jonathan, Sean, they're getting ready to line it up and
we'll get right
this
to it.
volleyball match started. Best of 5 here at the West Quad Gymnasium.
All right, thank you, Pat. Let's go through our starting lineups really quick. We'll start with Old Westbury. You have number 2, Ash Santos, 6-foot fresh junior out of Baldwin, New York, from Baldwin High School. He'll wear number 2 and play switch outside hitter. Yevgeny Rutsky, number 3, the 6-foot freshman out of Poltava, Ukraine. He'll wear number 3. Jose Lorenzo Santos, he'll be the libero wearing number 4. Torrance Fredericks will wear number 5. Damian Villanil, number 9. Liam Eisel, number 12. And Shane Kelb will wear number 20. For Brooklyn, it's going to be Dion Zakortos, David Lema, Armad Kaloshi, Aaron Sue, Jason Langian Flanders, and Joaquin Calderon. Coach for Brooklyn is Maz Chowdhury, along with Tommy Min, former volleyball player in this team. As we are underway, Bulldogs in their yellow and gold, and there's a quick kill right off the bat as Old Westbury takes the early 1-0 lead. Referees for this matchup are going to be Leo Zhang and Daniel Nagar. First kill for the game went to Westbury, and now to serve is Ash Santos.
That was number 12, Liam Eisel.
Serves it into the net for a service error, and very quickly, 1-1 in this game in the early going. Sub just came in there for Westbury. We'll check who that sub was in a moment.
And number 13 checks in for Kalashi, number 14.
All right, so that's going to be Ali Zandani out of Sana'a, Yemen. And Zandani will serve it over. Good dig out of the ground by Santos. And slammed into the ground, but good dig out by Zakortos. Kept alive by Santos. Into the air. Dropped down and killed. Put home by Joaquin Calderon. Bulldogs take a 2-1 lead. So a good defensive stance by the Bulldogs on that second possession.
Good job by Calderon there. Brooklyn staying in front of the net.
That's what you want to see the Bulldogs do. You want to see them moving all the time. Ball in the air. Slam down and good block once again by Calderon. And digging it right back over. Kept alive by Zakortos. And slammed in by Calderon. But good dig. Oh, the ball fell right in between. That fell right in between Kelb and in between Santos. And the Bulldogs take advantage and take an early 3-1 lead.
And they go and they kind of collide into each other. Ball falls right to the side. 3-1 Brooklyn all of a sudden.
Now the men's volleyball team for Westbury is only their second year. They're 0-4 on the year, but they've been in every game, so it's been tight contested matchups. They were coming off a 5-set defeat, and that was looks like a double hit over the net. Yeah, it was a double hit on top of the net. Bulldogs will get that point, and they go up 4-1. The Panthers were coming off a 5-set loss the other night against Pratt Institute, and it was a close one. It went the distance, very close in each set. So this team is not far away from what Coach Ryan Pastuch wants them to become.
And there's a service error by Zindani.
And those are things the Bulldogs, you need to be careful of those service errors. You have to always be moving. And again, it's always about timing when you hit the ball over the net. You want to make sure the ball comes down, you get a good hit on the ball, not to overhit it or to under-hit the ball. Liam Eisel will serve. He serves it over. Dug out by Zakortos. Good pop in the air and dropped down and buried by Aaron Sue.
Aaron Sue was effective last week against Baruch. A consistent player for this team. Good job by Brooklyn, leaving that left block open for him to operate and put the ball over and down.
And now we're going to see Giant Flanders get his first serve. And this time he did a little move. Didn't do the tap that we usually love to see Flanders do. But there's a block into the net. And put home and finished by Calderon at the block. So far, Calderon off to a hot start at the net. Really imposing his good ability to block. He's 6'8", Calderon, out of Crane Street campus. Not many volleyballers we find that are 6'8".
No, and it comes to Brooklyn's advantage.
On a bad tip off the serve, as Eisel could not pick up Flanders' soft change-up serve. And the Bulldogs go up 7-2 in the first set early on. Timeout called by Old Westbury. So already, the Bulldogs taking it to the Panthers early. A good start for both sides. All right, we got the score update for Lehman and Baruch. It is 14-14 for the women. We're going to keep updating you guys as well throughout the broadcast with basketball for men and women. Jonathan Pariente along with my broadcast partner, Sean Markusik, as well. So the women right now are up by as much as 30 at the half for the Brooklyn College women against City College. Now, the impact of these games will be as follows. If the Brooklyn College women win today and Baruch women lose, the women become the 2 seed and will get a bye and skip the quarterfinal round and will go right to the semis, which will be held here at the West Quad. If the opposite happens, if both win, then the women play in the quarterfinals this coming Saturday on the 22nd. Game will likely be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The women right now are up 46-18 starting the third quarter against the Beavers. The men are in a different boat, as the men are currently the 4 seed and they're facing City, and at stake for that game is either they're going to be at home or they're going to be hosting.
Right. It's either a 4 or 5 seed. Basically, right now they're tied for 4th with City College, so that even amplifies that game even more.
So it's very simple. Win, and you host at home.
Yeah.
Lose, and you're on the road.
And it's not like with the women. The men could completely control their destiny.
Absolutely.
As opposed to what seed they are.
We're back from the timeout, and Flanders once again to serve. And Flanders will do a little lateral jump and did not time that serve well and hit that right into the net. And it's 7-3. That ends the Bulldogs' mini run. But the Bulldogs had scored the last 4 points.
3 of those coming off of Flanders serves.
And now back to serve. Good dig out by Zandani. Popped in the air by Calderon. Dug out by Ash Santos. And dropped down and finished on the kill by Villamil. Good, nice little touch on that drop shot by Villamil. And it's 7-4 Brooklyn here in the first set. And now Old Westbury will take the serve. And back to take this will be number 12, Liam Eisel. Eisel will serve it over. Dug out by Zandani. And smashed into the ground. Good dig out. Kept alive by Sue. And Sue going for the kill again. And it's deflected off the block and out of bounds. Brooklyn will get the point. Coach Chowdhury talked very highly about Sue, that second year on the team, he's really now learning how to adapt and not always go for that big hit all the time. Just change it up a little bit. Never hurts to throw off a serve. And there's another good serve by Calderon. And it went off the hand of Villamil. And it's 9-4 Brooklyn leading.
Second time this game with Eisel for this set. Just a little too much English on the serve.
And the Bulldogs right now have done a good job picking that serve up. Good dig out by Calderon, kept alive by drop down and finished and killed by Sue. 10-4 Brooklyn in the first. So a good start for the Bulldogs here in the early going. Love the effort they're coming out with. They're coming out with a lot of fire.
Coach Maz discussed Brooklyn's kills going all the way far back, costing them points. That one right before the line.
And that one went into the net, dug out. Westbury had to dig it out and could not get it over the net, out of bounds. 11-4 Brooklyn, and right now Bulldogs have really been picking up the pace. And they have really put Westbury on their heels in the early going here of this first set. Calderon with a serve. Dropped down by Villamil, dug out by Zakortos. And Sue drop it down, but Isel was there to track it down. Hit over the net by Fredericks. Calderon. And Sue slams it home right in front of Lorenzo Santos.
Lorenzo Santos too late to get there. Lets it drop on the floor first. Brooklyn has a 12-4 lead, and it seems like right now they're really establishing a game plan, which they've struggled to do the last few games.
When you give Aaron Sue that time and space, he will make you pay with his kills. That one goes down and good. Zakortos couldn't get back on that return. Sub coming in for Westbury. And in will come Kevin Alarcon, the 5'6 freshman out of Bethpage High School. He'll replace Rutsky. Serving it over the net. Dug out by Zondani. Into the air. And Sue buries it into the ground. Yeah, that was into the ground. It was Westbury kept continuing thinking it was still a point, but not the case. And back in comes Armand Kaloshi. He'll replace Zondani. So right now, Sean, Bulldogs changing things up, but like the rotation in and out so far.
Like what they're doing, being aggressive, not letting the game come to them, but establishing the game plan early on. And as there's nearly another kill by Jason, Lynn just falls a little short.
Yeah, Lynn just went a little under on that potential kill, but it was blocked at the net. It was a good block. And the Bulldogs will go back. And back to serve now will be number 9, Villamil. And Villamil will serve it up. Good dig out by Calderon. Into the ground. Oh, drop down by Lynn. That's one of those great shots. He did not have to go for a hard kill. He just tapped it over the net. Nice, easy touch.
Just tapped it right over as the Panthers kind of collapsed to the middle of the court, expecting a big hit to come there.
That is sometimes really all you need. You don't have to go for the full effort shot. Sometimes you see an opening, you hit it where the defenders aren't. Dig out. Kept in there by Santos. Ash. Dug out by Lynn. Knocked a little back. Calderon just got it in. Okay, it was just on the line. It was close. I thought maybe he missed that a hair off, but it caught a little line, and it's a point for the Bulldogs. And they go up 15-6.
Let's see if the Bulldogs will close this out in quick succession.
Bulldogs are 10 away from taking the first set. As we get set, serve it again. Lynn. Good dig out by Santos, but he could not get back enough. So Ash was not in position. By the way, both Ash and Jose are brothers, both of whom play altering positions. Libero, serve it over. Dug out by Jose. Knocked into the air, but dug out, kept alive by Lynn. And Flanders just missed it a hair out of bounds. Was looking for possibly a tip on a block.
Yep.
But it went to Old Westbury.
And that's just an uncommon error that you see this Brooklyn College team making. You put the ball back in the hands of Old Westbury.
You don't want to give any momentum to anyone. That's how that works. That's how it goes. Kaloshi was blocked at the net, but got it back. Kaloshi tries it again, and this time Kaloshi did not miss.
There we go. Kaloshi able to keep the ball in play. Got it back and got himself in play again, this time for the successful kill.
17-7 Brooklyn in the first set. And now to serve will be number 12, David Lima. And Lima gets in position, and he'll serve it up. And that is right on the line, a service ace for Lima. Perfect shot, found that back corner on the line, and was able to put it home. Bulldogs up 18-7.
This team's playing much better compared to last week against Baruch.
Well, the Baruch game was a close match. If really a couple sets had gone the Bulldogs' way, could have had a very different result.
Well, 2 of those 4 sets really came away from Brooklyn early on, going up 10 plus.
Yeah. Momentum is everything in a game. And there's a block. I believe Calderon's going to get credit for the block. I'd say both him and Flanders both should get credit for that block.
Right, but it was Calderon's hand that went up for it, but they were both there right at the net.
Well, I mean, like in football, you have like a half sack, and you give credit to a full sack.
You got 2 players collapsing on the quarterback, but only one.
I call it a half of a block, but back to the action here. So it'll be Lima to serve again. Bulldogs up 19-7. Lima serves it over. Good hard serve as Villamil was able to deflect it and get the return. Good hit by Lynn. Now to Lima, and slam down into the body by Calderon. Went right into the body of Santos.
Where right there, his hands were not extended enough to get that ball back.
I'll tell you what, this kid Calderon is one heck of a killer. 105 kills on the year, and this kid is 6'8", only a freshman.
6'8", only a freshman. A lot of potential for a player like that in this program.
Lima with a good low serve dug out by Santos and dropped down and just inside the line. Missed. Oh, it was out of bounds. Westbury had a good idea to try to go for that line, but just missed it. And it's sometimes dangerous, Sean, when you go for those lines. You want to get it in or out on that line.
And just like that, Brooklyn has 6 straight points and are 4 points away from winning the set.
Absolutely. Bulldogs really putting on a strong start here to this opening set. Lima will serve it over. Good dig out by Santos. That was by Jose. Dropped in and blocked, but it went off the hand out of bounds. But good job by the Bulldogs crowding the top of the net.
Once again, Calderon and Flanders right there.
Coming out will be Alarcon. Back into the game now comes Rutsky. And now it'll be Ash Santos to serve for the Panthers. 21-8, Brooklyn is leading. Serves it over. And it's too long out of bounds. A service error for Santos. Bulldogs go up 22-8. And now the Bulldogs are 3 points away from taking the first set. And back to serve will be Zandani. And he will serve it over. Good dig out by Villamil. Knocked in the air by Ash. Good dig out by Zandani to Lima. And Flanders off the block out of bounds. Great kill by Flanders.
The ability right there, Flanders definitely shifted the energy of this team. Once he came in, went back to serve 2 straight times, led to 2 straight points, now right at the net, causing havoc.
Well, using Flanders in the middle has been a very good element of success for the Bulldogs. And that's what you'll love to see. Flanders has that great kill ability. Oh, almost had it there, but dug out. Good dig by Zandani. We had over the hand violation over the net was called against Old Westbury. Brooklyn will get that point. It is set point for Brooklyn to take the first set here at the quad. And Zandani waiting for Old Westbury to set up. Zandani readies, and he will serve it up. And good defend, good serve by Isel. Dig it out. Rutsky, good little touch on that shot by Rutsky. Bulldogs were not able to get back, so 1 set point is saved. It's 24-9, Bulldogs leading.
As Lima just a little too late to get there once again.
Bulldogs back on defense now as Isel will serve. And Isel serves it up. And that is way out of bounds, a service error, and that is how the first set comes to an end. The Bulldogs take it 25-9. And we got a score update for Baruch and Lehman. They're in the second quarter. The Baruch women lead 27-19 with about under 3 minutes to go in the second. The women's Bulldogs are up 66-20 with 3:46 to go in the third. All right. So right now, if things end the way they are, Sean, and basketball-wise, the women could possibly be going to play in a quarterfinal game.
Yeah.
Something they have not done in the last number of years. So this is going to be an interesting challenge for them. Now, the game will be at home regardless of what happens. But they're having to play that one extra game. That could be a difference maker sometimes. You have a little extra rest. You can kind of get yourself situated going into the semis. But we'll see how that we'll see how that score holds up.
Especially because that game would likely be early in the afternoon on a Saturday, as opposed to the usual night double headers that we're used to here at the Quad.
Yeah, definitely. All right, both sides go to their respective benches as the Bulldogs took the first set 25-9. We'll have the stats for you coming momentarily here.
As Old Westbury will be serving first because Brooklyn served in the first set.
Like how the Bulldogs, though, Sean, came out in that first set. They came right out. They came out swinging almost right away, which is a big sign. Calderon made an immediate impact in that first set, which is what you want to see. And the Bulldogs took that to their advantage. 11 kills in the first set for Brooklyn. 5 of them were for Sue, 3 of them for Calderon. Bulldogs put together 11 assists and a grand total of, let me see the return total. Oh, here we go. Service aces, the men had 4 service aces, which is very solid. You like that start. So they held Westbury to no service aces. Old Westbury only had 5 kills, and they committed a total of 4 return errors. The Bulldogs had no return errors the first set. Pretty impressive.
That is impressive. This team has definitely been more aggressive getting to the ball, setting plays up for one another, playing as a team, and it's definitely showed to be successful. This team has a lot of potential, a lot of good things to look forward to.
And now the matter of the second set, can the men put that to good use in set number 2? Obviously, you never want to get too comfortable after taking one set. You want to keep that momentum going. Yeah. And I can assure you, we've seen how quickly a set can flip on a dime. It happens very regularly, and it can happen in any game.
And yes, this Panthers team is 0-4, but that's it. Those are all 4 competitive losses.
Absolutely.
It's a really good team.
And the Bulldogs are going to have to be ready for whatever Old Westbury is going to throw at them. I can assure you, they have to be ready for just about everything. As I mentioned, Old Westbury was in a lot of these games. The game against Pratt went 27-25, 20-25, 23-25, 25-16, 11-15. Then against Bryn Athyn, again, it went the distance. It went 3 sets, but 17-25, 24-26, 29-31. So we're talking about one set that went beyond the 25 limit. It went to 31-29.
It went to 31-29 because once it gets past 25, you have to win by at least 2.
Yep.
And it just shows you the resilience of this team. So Brooklyn's going to need to continue to keep the tempo up to start out this set, as Brooklyn's now back on the court.
Yep. Bulldogs will bring in, looks like the Bulldogs are going to change a few little things up with the roster. I noticed a couple new names out. I see Bulldogs are bringing in, they're bringing in Enoch Zhang are the Bulldogs for this one. So that's Zhang wearing number 11. He's out of Fresh Meadows, Queens. Also, Sue is in there, Flanders. Lynn is coming in along with Lima and Kaloshi, and Calderon staying in there for Brooklyn. So the Bulldogs are going to change things up a little. Flanders is going to take a seat. So they're going with some of their bench for this one, which is a very interesting change up. But let's see how the Bulldogs will adjust here as Old Westbury will serve to start the second set.
Also interesting to point out in that first set for Brooklyn, there were periods of that time where they had no libero on the floor. Sicordo sat, and they were still successful in those minutes.
Well, it's always key when you're able to keep winning the serve advantage. Your libero doesn't have to be on the court as often, which does give him a little rest. You can kind of rotate in and out. But always, momentum plays such a role, and if you can establish a run early, that plays a big difference. We're back to serve here for Westbury. It's going to be Ash Santos to serve. Bulldogs are in their ready position, and Ash will serve. Good dig out of the ground by Zakortos. Kaloshi tries to go for the quick kill, and it's knocked down and buried by Enoch Zhang.
Good job. You see right there, Brooklyn staying together, traveling towards the ball, whereas the Panthers are a little scattered to get back to it.
Zandani will check in now for the Bulldogs. And out will go Kaloshi. Zandani readies the serve and serves it up over the net. A good job off the hand. This time Alarcon is taking over the role of libero now for Old Westbury. Popped in the air by Lima and slammed down. Tried to dig it out. Good save. Good job by the Bulldogs as Zandani will hit it over the net. Alarcon digs it out. ISO. Oh, ISO with a great little float on the kill. And it's 1-1 in the second set.
ISO right there. Beautiful placement right into that gap where Brooklyn couldn't go back and get it.
Alarcon will sit down.
3 right at the net for both teams.
Both sides very creative with their shot selection and shot making, which you love to see. And now Eisel readies his serve. And a strong serve, but it went well out of bounds. Eisel put a little too much on that serve. Service error, it's 2-1, Brooklyn leading in the second set. And now back to serve will be Enoch Zhang. Zhang will serve it over the net. Dug out by Eisel, put in the air by Ash Santos. Deflected, good dig out by Calderon. Good adjustment on the shot by Lin. He backed up and was able to get it over. Dug out by Lima. Into the air. Lima that was knocked into the air a little bit too high by Zandani. It didn't quite get that float over the net that he wanted, and it fell a little bit in front. And we're tied at 2 in set number 2. It's now 31-23 Baruch women at the end of the first half. Still a close game. That is still anybody's game.
That's still a 2 to 3 possession game. That's very close.
Bulldogs are up by 50 in the closing seconds of the third quarter, 72-22. We'll keep you posted on the basketball as we go throughout. As Calderon's shot was knocked into the net, over the net, and could not be returned by Westbury. Bulldogs take a 3-2 lead. And Calderon doing such a tremendous job imposing his will and imposing his 6'8" size. And Eisel got a little hand on that shot, but I think he cut right in front of the defender. It worked out anyway for Westbury, but I don't think that's what the coach wanted to see.
That was not designed. That was just Brooklyn making a mistake, changing the trajectory of that ball.
Well, it's 3-all no matter how you slice it, and back to serve now will be Westbury, and yeah, Coach Pastuch is having a quick talk with Eisel on that last shot. It worked out in the end for Westbury, so now back to serve. And taking the serve will be Kyle Singh Gajadar out of Astoria, Queens, making his first appearance. And we have, referee blowing the whistle. That serve doesn't count, I guess. Maybe somebody wasn't ready up front.
Was there an alignment issue with?
I think it might have been.
Old Westbury, yeah.
Gadajer will serve. All right, now it's dug out by Zakortos. Knocked over the net and just a bit long. Lima had a good beat on that shot. Just hit it a little bit too far.
Had it placed perfectly, just a little too much impact on the ball.
And Gajadar will serve again. Over the net. This time into the net for a service error. And we are tied at 4 apiece here in the second. Now back into the game comes Villamil. Out will go Zandani for Brooklyn. Back into the game comes Kaloshi. And now taking the serve for Brooklyn will be Aaron Sue. And got a friendly tip off the net. You'll take that point any way you slice it.
Absolutely. You take any point you can. Especially now you go back up 1 after being down 1. Just a quick momentum shift there in favor of Brooklyn.
It's 5-4, Brooklyn leading. And Sue will serve it over, dug out by Eisel. Hit into the air by Singh Gajadar, kept alive by Villamil. Good dig out by Lin. Drop down, Lima tried to save it. Sue could not quite get back. We're tied at 5. So this set's been a little more back and forth, Sean, in the early going.
Each team going back and forth, 1 for 1 basically here, and this is definitely much more competitive. Old Westbury seems to finally find their place in this game.
Yeah, both teams are kind of in a feeling out process here. As that ball went back, good dig out there by Santos. Hit over the net by Singh. Knocked into the air. Lima. Oh, good knockdown. Kept alive by Villamil. Calderon. Lima. And finally, Kaloshi. Good catch, though, by Gajadar. Unfortunately, you don't get a point for catching the ball on a kill. You have to hit it back.
Kaloshi sent it right into him and gave Brooklyn the point.
Well, so far back and forth we are in the second set. It's 6-5 Brooklyn leading. And now back to serve will be Aaron Sue. Oh, sorry, Jason Lin now will be serving. My bad. Lin will serve it over the net. Dug out by Gajadar. Oh, good job. The Bulldogs were right at the net, and it was Enoch Zhang who was able to finish that little spike. and put down the nice drop in front of the net. Bulldogs up 7-5. So now the Bulldogs have a 2-point score, 2-point lead. Hit over the net, kept alive by Singh. Fredericks on the good kill down low. That was Stefan's. Yeah, that was Fredericks on the kill, yes. Fredericks on the nice kill to finish. It's 7-6, and he will now take the next serve. Fredericks serves it over. Good dig out by Zakortos. Lima and Koloshi. Good tip off. Oh, it went off the block. Oh, it did not. It was not picked up well by Villamil. He got a little under that last attempt to get a dig.
Right, didn't have any real power behind it.
Yep.
Just kind of had to put it up.
It's all about timing in volleyball. If that ball's a little bit up your hand or a little up the arm, it changes completely the whole point. 8-6 Bulldogs leading, second set. Lima will serve. Good dig by Isel. Kept alive. Isel drops it down and just missed it long, out of bounds. And the Bulldogs go up 9-6.
9-6 Bulldogs starting to put together a stretch here, a good stretch of momentum. Let's see if they could capitalize on it and take advantage.
Those runs are always so important. You can establish a little momentum early. It changes the whole set. Lima, good serve off the hand of Isel. Singh digs it out and smashed down, and yep, they gave him the point. That was put home by Daniel Feliz, the 6'3 sophomore out of East Meadow, New York. And we're going to have he'll come out now, Will Feliz. Back into the game comes Ash Santos. 9-7, Brooklyn College leading here in the second set. They took the first set 25-9.
As now, Old Westbury will serve for the first time in a little bit.
And Ash will serve it over. Dug out by Calderon. Dropped over the net. That was in no man's land, and that's a 50-50 ball there. And that was put home by Rutsky. And Old Westbury down 9-8.
Right, Rutsky just kind of got right up and over the net and put it down gently.
Well, those little touch shots are big. And when it's a 50-50 ball at the net, whoever gets there first. Ash will serve it over. Good dig out by Calderon, but Koloshi was not able to pick it up. It went right in front of him and dropped down, and we are tied at 9-9.
Now Old Westbury scores 3 straight points after Brooklyn scored 3 straight, so
been a lot of different momentum swings in this second set, Sean, I'll tell you that. Ash ready to serve. This is a big point for either side right now. Santos will serve. Dug out by Zhang. Lima knocks it into the air. Koloshi with a good kill, but buried, kept alive by Ash. Oh, Villamil dug it out. This is a free ball for Brooklyn. Lima. And Calderon, good dig. Kept alive once again by Santos. Dropped down and buried on the block. But it went out of bounds, and Old Westbury will pick up the point as they go up 10-9. And now the Bulldogs are going to call timeout. So it was 9-6 Brooklyn, and Old Westbury now has scored the last 4 points. And Coach Chowdhury wants to talk things over.
Good time out there by Brooklyn, because now Old Westbury is starting to flip the momentum, take advantage of the little things which Brooklyn started to do in that first set and at the beginning of the second set. So the momentum's starting to shift here a little bit. Good time out by Brooklyn to reset the game plan.
And these are the most points Westbury has scored. They only had 9 in the first set. They scored 10 in this one. So now the Bulldogs, it's going to be all about just making an adjustment.
Absolutely.
You're seeing the Bulldogs, they're getting on top of the ball. They're doing what they have to do, but Westbury has adjusted on defense now, and they're picking up the lanes where the Bulldogs are trying to go with trying to hit those return shots. So now it's a matter of, can the Bulldogs change that up a little bit? And again, the key is you want to try to hit the ball where your defender isn't. You want to try to make your opponent think differently of where you're going to approach. So we'll see if the Bulldogs will be able to make that change here. As the Bulldogs are back on the court, Old Westbury's going to take a few more minutes, and they'll be back on in a sec. You are watching Brooklyn College Bulldogs Volleyball on YouTube.com, your home for everything Brooklyn. I'm Jonathan Pariente, along with my broadcast partners Sean Markusic and Pat Brown. We will also be providing consistently updates for the women's and men's basketball, which is closing out their season tonight. The women right now are going into the fourth quarter against City College. Baruch and Lehman on the women's side are in halftime. Popped in the air by Lima. Calderon with a good block. Zakortos dug it out. Kept alive. Koloshi Good dig by Villamil. Oh, a little collision into the net. Bulldogs get a free ball. Socortos, Lima, Kaloshi. Could not quite finish that shot. But again, it's popped over the net. Bulldogs get a free point again. Lima up in the air. Calderon. Oh, it went off the hand and down. And finally, the Bulldogs caught a little break as Villamil could not handle that last dig. It went off the hand.
Right, Villamil knew kind of right away. But good job by Brooklyn there, regaining the momentum, able to set up a serve for themselves.
That was a very key point because that ended a 4-0 run by Old Westbury.
And now it's 10-0 as Brooklyn goes back to serve.
It's so close now in this second set. Served over the net. Good return. Good shot by Zandani. Rutski tried to go for a little surprise dig. Calderon was met at the net, but it deflected out of bounds off Rutski. Bulldogs take an 11-10 lead. So good adjustment by Brooklyn as they were able to get back in the play. Ran out with a 1-point lead.
Calderon's so impactful for this team as a power hitter.
And now back to serve. And coming in now will be Zandani. He serves it over. Good dig out by... Oh, it went into almost went into the stands. Isel somehow dug it out. Socortos into the air. Lima. And Calderon blocked again, but again out of bounds. That time it was off the block of Sue.
Right, Sue, when Old Westbury mistiming those blocks. Good save by Isel. But Old Westbury not able to get back, and now once again 2 straight points by Brooklyn.
And you see now what the Bulldogs did those last 2 points. They went more to the corner, which is where Old Westbury likes to block, and then you force a block out of bounds, you get the point for it, which is a way to steal points. And a double contact was called. Double contact was called against Isel. You cannot touch the ball twice with the same hand, and that's going to be a point for Brooklyn.
A little bit creative there by Isel, but
the referee saw it right away. 13-10, Brooklyn leading. And back to serve Zandani. And he readies the serve. Good shot over the net. Isel digs it out. Kept by Ash Santos. Isel blocked in the net and out of bounds. And it's going to go to Old Westbury with that point. It was a good, quick effort. Bulldogs made a good block on it, but the ball carried out. 13-11.
Isel once again will serve, but this set definitely has a different tone to it compared to the first one.
Oh, it certainly does. A lot of momentum swings. Neither side's really been able to grab a full bit of momentum here as this set's gone on. Lima digs it out, and that one is out of bounds off that hit from, I believe that was off the hand of Zhang. And it's 13-12 Brooklyn. Back to serve will be Old Westbury. And Isel readies his serve. And Isel serves it up. Good dig out by Zakortos. Lima. And slammed down, and Calderon made a good attempt. Isel saved it. Good dig out again by Zakortos, but right there to clean up the mess was Villamil. And we are tied up once again at 13. So twice the Bulldogs had built a 3-point lead, and Old Westbury was there to answer it each time.
Good job there by Santos, saving it to Isel, allowing them to get back in play and give themselves the point.
And this is a critical set, whoever wins this, Sean. That's right now what this is looking like right now. Early going. And into the net by Isel. Bulldogs go up 14-13. That ends the 3-point kill. That ends the last 3 points in a row for Old Westbury.
This is definitely a key set because it changes the tone into going into the third set, depending on if it's 1-1 or 2-0.
And now Enoch Zhang will serve. Good dig by Alarcon. Dug out. Oh, Bulldogs were able to... Somehow the Bulldogs got back and made that dig. Huge play. And big block by Calderon. And into the net. No good. Oh. And Ryutsky and Kelb collided with each other there. Bulldogs were able to come away with the point. They go back up 2. It's 15-13. Little miscommunication on that last rotation there by Old Westbury. Bulldogs 10 points away from taking set number 2. Good float over serve from Zhang. Isel. Oh, Isel tried to float that over the net, just not enough. Just didn't get enough lift on that ball.
Isel's second straight time right into the net. And once again, Brooklyn finds themselves up 3, which seems like a common theme in this set. Let's see if they can finally put a string here together.
Well, let's see what happens now with Zhang back to serve. Fires it over the net. Good dig out by Alarcon. Isel. Villanelle blocked at the net. Good dig. Kept alive there by Sue. And now Sue buries that vital shot on the kill. And the Bulldogs go up by 4.
Goes all the way out deep. Perfect placement by Sue. We see Calderon do that all the time. This time it's Sue. And Brooklyn now up 5. 8 away from winning the second set and going up 2-0.
This combination of Sue and Calderon is so deadly. It just looks like such a potent combo. If you give these two any space, they are going to make you pay big time.
Two opposite guys on the court, both able to have a great ability to kill. Good save there by Brooklyn that goes out of bounds.
Villanelle had a good kill on that. It was good effort by Lima and by Zhang to try to save that. That ends the Bulldogs' 4-0 run as they lead 17-14. Bulldogs 8 points away from taking the second set. And now, Alarcon has to come off the court, and he does. And now back to serve will be Shane Kelb. And Kelb serves it up. Good dig by Zakortos. Lima. And slammed down by Calderon. On the finishing kill, Bulldogs up 18-14. So that quickly spelt an end to the momentum that Old Westbury tried to build for the third time for the moment. 18-14, Brooklyn leads. Calderon to serve. Isel digs it out. Back alive goes Ash. Blocked at the net. Isel tries to keep it in. He does. Villanelle. Calderon with a good dig. Lima. And slammed down by Aaron Sue. Bulldogs up 19-14.
Good redirection by Brooklyn. Moving off ball. Getting different angles at the shot, and it works out there for them. Up 5.
Calderon back to serve. Over the net. This time a little low touch serve. Fredericks got caught in between where the Bulldogs. Fredericks got that over the net just barely, and then the Bulldogs were not able to return it on the other end. So it's 19-15 now in favor of Brooklyn. Bulldogs are 6 points away from the second set. And now it'll be Singh Gajadar back to serve. And Gajadar serves it over, and that is out of bounds, too long. And Brooklyn up 20-15.
See, service errors happen all the time, but that's such a costly service error because you're already down towards the end of the set. You can't afford to give up a point like that.
In the late juncture of sets, those are killers. Absolutely. Good serve there by Sue. Villanelle, good dig out there by Lima. Zakortos. And Calderon, kind of jumped in front of Lima there to Calderon. Hugging it out at the end, that's all right. Was trying to go for the kill there. I think Lima was trying to go for that ball first, but Calderon tried to finish and he hit into the net instead. It's 20-16, and back to serve will be Villanelle. And knocked in, and good dig out of the ground by Gajadar. He saved it. Calderon, Lima, and down and into the ground. Put home by that was put home by Jason Lynn.
By Jason Lynn, yep. Tried it the first time, didn't work out, got it back again, and this time able to put it down.
Well, this game you'll get sometimes a chance to redeem. You'll get chances to redeem yourself, no doubt. As now Connor Williams comes in for Old Westbury and dropped down and buried by Kaloshi. And now the Bulldogs are building the lead. They were trying to build throughout this second set. They're up now by 6 and leading 22-16 with 3 points to go from taking set number 2.
And having the ability with such a big lead, having the ability to serve every time down is also crucial.
And now back to serve is Lynn. Serves it over the net. And that is a service ace inside the line for Jason Lynn. Bulldogs go up by 7. They lead 23-16. You talked about service errors and how critical they are. Anytime you get service aces this late, huge. Lynn will serve it over. And it went around the pole.
It went around the pole, yeah.
And didn't go over the net.
I thought first they were directing that the ball just went over and it was point for Brooklyn. But
yeah, but it did not. It went over, but it went around, which is not the serve you want to have. So it's 23-17, and now Fredericks to serve. Good dig by Calderon. And dropped. Oh, great pickup by Enoch Zhang as he caught Gajadar off his feet a little bit.
Yep. Kind of caught him between both legs and got it right into him.
And now it is set point for Brooklyn, leading 24-17. And it will be on the hands of Lima to try to finish it off. Lima ready to serve. Serves it up. And a good hard serve. And Old Westbury could not return it. And that's how the second set ends. The Bulldogs take it 25-17. So this set, Sean, took a little bit about halfway into the set for the Bulldogs to build momentum. But again, once they got that momentum going, once they got the lead late, then the Bulldogs didn't look back.
It was kind of 12-12, 13-13, and then from 13-13, Brooklyn able to score 4 straight and then keep the momentum going from there. It took them a little time, but now they're in the driver's seat here, Jonathan.
Absolutely.
Up 2-0. You get to serve first at the start of the third set.
Bulldogs are Bulldogs are in the middle of a 6-game losing streak. They're looking to end that tonight. And it'll be huge if the Bulldogs can finish this off with the third set about to appear before us here. 25-17. As we now begin the third set momentarily, both teams back to their benches. And right now, if you're Brooklyn, you have to like the momentum they have built for themselves, and you got to like the way they've started things. So let's take a look at the second set. The Bulldogs, Bulldogs had, well, total now when you add all these points together, that's what we're going to add up. That's how we'll add these up.
14 kills in the second set.
Yep.
For Brooklyn.
Old Westbury had just 10, so the Bulldogs have 25 kills total. As we have a score update, Baruch is leading Lehman 37-25, 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. So unless Lehman gets on a roll here, this is going to be looking like the Bulldogs will probably be going to the quarters. And right now the women are in the closing seconds. They're up 82-34. So the women's Bulldogs are going to finish out the season on a winning note, which was very important. Yes. So they will go to 14-11 to finish off the season.
As of right now, the third seed, but that could change by the end of tonight.
Well, we'll see what happens, but Lehman is going to have to get on a run here with 7.5 to go in the third and still have the whole fourth quarter to play. So
still a lot of
momentum
time.
Can change in basketball just as quickly, I can assure you, John. It changes fast.
With the men's game just about a half hour away to start.
So the Bulldogs put together a total of 25 kills. Old Westbury was just 15. The Bulldogs had a total of 7 service aces so far. Just 1 service ace for Old Westbury. That is huge. So far, the Bulldogs only have 1 return error. Just 1. Old Westbury with 7. And anytime you're the Bulldogs and you're making those plays, it's huge.
8 kills for Aaron Sue. 6 kills for Calderon. And we talked about it, opposite sides of the court. Both of those guys could attack the gaps widely.
That's what you want to be able to always see if you're Brooklyn. You want to be able to build that momentum. You want to have you want to basically dictate the tempo. That's what's so important.
You have to. And with just about 25 seconds left.
Yep. We're about to start the third set. And we'll see if the Bulldogs can go for a 3-set sweep. But mind you, I can assure you Old Westbury is not going to let up easily. This is going to be another.
This is going to be a very.
You have to focus even more now after taking 2 sets.
And we talked about it. This Old Westbury team comes out in losses with their health head high, the ability to compete with teams, which is the same thing for this Brooklyn team. But they got the momentum, and now they just got to take advantage. Keep doing what you were doing the first 2 sets.
All right, the Bulldogs are going to bring in Stefan Simon. He's going to check in for the first time for the Bulldogs. He is out of Midwood High School, right next door from Brooklyn College, from Brooklyn, New York. He's 5'9", and he's playing the role of a return specialist, so he's very handy in this situation. Zakortos back in for Brooklyn, along with Kaloshi. Enoch Zhang is in there. So the Bulldogs are going to sit Calderon right now in the early going for this third set, and I'm sure you'll see Calderon come back in here at some point.
I'm sure he'll just take a brief breather for a little bit, but yeah, he'll definitely be back in the set.
All
He's
right.
had a very successful night.
And Aaron Sue will stay in there for Brooklyn as well. And we are getting ready for the third set. Here we go. Taking the opening serve will be Lima. Serves it over. Good dig out there by Alarcon. And dropped in the net and dropped in for Old Westbury, so they get the opening score. They go up 1-0 in the third.
Old Westbury quick on the attack, staying right in front of the net this time.
And now Ash Santos will get in position. And he readies his serve. And Ash serves it up. Good dig out by Kaloshi. Into the air by Lima. Good knock, good block into the net, but kept alive by Zakortos. And this time Kaloshi put it away for the kill. And we are tied 1-1. Zondani checks back in for Brooklyn. And now back to serve Zondani. We're tied at 1 apiece in the third set. Bulldogs have a 2-0 lead. Serving it over. Good block by Isel, but kind of went up near his face. Could not get a good return on the serve. And the Bulldogs take a 2-1 lead.
Had to go out and gather that, but a quick 1-0 start for Old Westbury. Seemed like they were aggressive. Brooklyn able to take it right quick back. Let's see if Brooklyn could build momentum quickly here.
Bulldogs going a little bit of a smaller rotation on this possession here, which is interesting. Isel drops it in, but good dig by Lima. Went high in the air, dug out by Zakortos. But the ball carried a little too far away for Sue to try to go for the kill. And right, it's 2-2.
And Zhang was kind of right there thinking that Sue was going to be able to get there in time.
And back to serve now will be Villamil for Westbury. Villamil lines up the serve. Floats it over. Good dig out by Sue. And dropped into the net, but blocked by Old Westbury as they go up 3-2. In fact, it went into the net. It never got blocked. It was fired right into the net instead. Old Westbury with a 3-2 lead. Back to serve will be Villamil. Into the air, Lima. And that's right on the corner of the line. That was Sue putting that home. That was a great shot in the corner.
Right on the corner, yep, right in that a small little gap. And Brooklyn's been effective with that all night.
Cheyenne Flanders comes back in for Brooklyn.
At the start of the season, this team would overshoot that line.
And now Enoch Zhang will serve. And that was a little in-between shot. And that's a free ball for Brooklyn, popped in the air as Zondani. Sue with a good shot and could not be returned by Villamil or Fredericks. And Sue just hit that shot into a perfect spot. And the ball took a bad ricochet into the corner.
Good gather by Santos. You mentioned it kind of hobbled that ball at first, able to get it back up. Flanders puts it all the way in the deep right corner, and Old Westbury not able to get there in time.
4-3 Brooklyn leading. Zhang will serve it over. Dug out by Santos, and he double hit it with his hand. He actually palmed it. It's a palm ball, and it's 5-3. Brooklyn leading. He
palmed it up. That's not a legal shot within volleyball, and Brooklyn now up 5-3.
Yeah, you have to use the ball. You have to use your fist. You cannot do it with a palm of your hand. You cannot dig it out. Oh, and another service ace for Enoch Zhang right in the corner, and it's 6-3 Brooklyn. And now we're going to see Enoch Zhang serve it once again. And Zhang serves it over and just missed it a little long. He tried for that corner again. Just went one too many times there, but it's 6-4 Brooklyn, still leading. Back in comes Zakortos. And now to serve will be Kelb. Kelb will serve it over the net. Oh, went off of Flanders. Ooh. Ball took a bad hop off Flanders.
Went off of Flanders, and he kind of looked at his teammates like, my bad. Because
I don't know if that ball was meant to go to Flanders. It might have been for Lima. And now it's 6-5 Brooklyn, and back to serve will be Westbury, serving it over the net. Floats it over, Zondani digs it out. And that is buried into the ground. I believe that was Lima who buried that.
Yep.
They say big things come in small packages.
And he put some power behind that one.
Impact kill. And the Bulldogs go up 7-5. And now, taking the serve for the first time for Brooklyn will be Stefan Simon. Serves it over. That's over the line, out of bounds. Service error for Simon. Bulldogs lead 7-6.
Up, over, and out. Let's see if Old Westbury is going to be able to reset here.
I think you're going to see definitely some change-ups here as Liam Eisel will serve. Eisel from Oceanside, Long Island, New York. Went to Oceanside High School. And Eisel will serve it over and into the net for a service error. Bulldogs go back up 2, 8-6 lead. Men's Bulldogs will take their turn on the court at 7 o'clock at the Nat Holman Gymnasium. We'll keep you posted as much as we can on Baruch and Lehman as the women for the Bulldogs have gone on to win. That serve went out of bounds from Fredericks. It's 9-6 Brooklyn. They go up 3. And now the Bulldogs once again beginning to build that momentum again.
All right, starting to pull away, and it was around the same time in that second set. Let's see if they can do it 2 times in a row.
We just might see it again. And now it's Sue to serve, and a good hard serve into the body of Santos. And that is knocked into the ground out of bounds. Brooklyn will get the point. It's 10-6 Brooklyn leading.
Again, that ball went around the net. So that'll be a point awarded to Brooklyn instead of it going straight up and down.
Back to serve will be Sue. And strong serve by Sue. Dug out, kept alive. Good dig by Simon. Kaloshi buries it on the kill. Bulldogs go up 11-6. So far, the Bulldogs giving Calderon rest, and it's worked out well. Kaloshi's picked up the slot, has picked up for the kills for Brooklyn. And back to serve once again will be Sue. And another good hard serve. Eisel dug it out. Fredericks could not save it.
Well, that was too many hits, right? Yeah.
Yep. The same player can only, in the same rotation, the same player cannot hit it more than once. And once again, Brooklyn will serve. Sue up 12-6 is Brooklyn. Sue with a strong statement. You always hear the crowd. You always hear the Bulldogs chanting "Sue" after he serves it. Sue does not hesitate to put a lot of strength on that serve. He lets it all go on one shot. He is not afraid. 13-6 Bulldogs leading. And Sue lines up the serve again. And this time a little bit long as the Bulldogs run ends, but they lead 13-7. Westbury will back to serve for the first time in a while.
Brooklyn currently leading 14-6.
I think it should be 13-7, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought so, too, because it went from 13-6 to 14-6.
Yeah. Okay, now they are changing it, yeah. Kaloshi digs it out, and now it's 13-7 is corrected. And Villamil with a good attempt, good kill, a good save by Kaloshi. Good dig out of the ground by Alarcone. And it hit the net. Went around the cable.
Went around, yep.
And it's 14-7 Brooklyn. So the Bulldogs get back the point, and they go back up 7. And now Enoch Zhang comes back in for the Bulldogs, replacing Zakortos.
Same thing happened before with Easel, too.
And now it's Flanders to serve for Brooklyn. And let's see if he will do the signature tap of the toe that we have seen Flanders really perfect in his 3rd season on this team. Let's see if we're going to see the tap. Nope. We're going to see the little lateral move and then fire it over the net. Good dig out by Alarcone. Into the air. Eisel. Lima. Kaloshi buries it inside the block and down. Bulldogs up 15-7 and are 10 points away from taking this match and ending a 6-game losing streak. And it's back to Flanders to serve. And again, Flanders makes a little lateral move and serves it over. And blocked into the net. Whoa, went into the face of Santos for a brief minute there. Bulldogs go up 16-7 as Old Westbury's just been all out of sorts in the 3rd set ever since the Bulldogs started to grab the momentum, and they have not looked back.
Yeah, once again, Brooklyn's grabbing the momentum in the big wave. Flanders up again.
Serves it once more to Flanders. Eisel digs it out, but could not get it over the net. And another point for Brooklyn as they go up 17-7 and are 8 points away from taking this game.
Now really starting to pull away.
Back to serve Flanders. And what are we going to see? Now we're going to see the tap. There it is.
But this
time a little too high on that serve from Flanders. We hadn't seen Flanders do the tap all day, and there's the first time we saw it. But all right, 17-8. Hey, it's all about changing up the serve a little bit.
As he goes out and Simon will check in.
Now to serve will be Connor Williams for Old Westbury. Serves it over the net. Dug out by Kaloshi. Lima. Simon a little too strong on that. Was going for the corner. And now last 2 points for Old Westbury. Now it's 17-9. Still, Bulldogs have a firm lead, but got to be careful. Back to serve Connor Williams. And he serves it up. Kaloshi digs it out. Lima. Drop down and buried.
Good job by Brooklyn. Good response after giving up 2 straight service errors.
18-9. Brooklyn leads. 7 points away from winning the game.
Zhang back to serve here. 3 straight up front for Brooklyn.
It's Lima to serve for Brooklyn.
Oh, sorry about that. Yep.
Oh, no problem. Lima will take the serve for the Bulldogs now. He's getting a ball off the court. And Lima is ready. Brooklyn leading 18-9. Lima readies the serve. Fires it over. Oh, it got a little tip, and yep, it's on the ground. Old Westbury tried to save that, but the ball just took a little bounce. And the Bulldogs get that point. It's a service ace for Lima. And the Bulldogs go up 19-9, 6 points away from game, set, match.
Outscoring Old Westbury here 12-2. At one point this was 7-6, and now suddenly it's a 10-point lead. Brooklyn in the driver's seat.
Serving it over is Lima. Another good return. Kept alive by Isel. Blocked off the end and out of bounds, but Brooklyn with a good block, but it was not able to get returned. It's 19-10. Bulldogs leading here in the third set. Back to serve will be Ash Santos. Now, if you're Westbury, every serve now is so critical. Any error now is going to really now become more magnified as this set goes on now. Serves it in. Good dig out by Sue. Kaloshi just missed it a little bit long. And now it's 19-11 in favor of Brooklyn. Kaloshi went for that corner, which was the right move.
Right, just a little overextension on that ball.
It's all about just getting that drop on the ball on the angle where you hit it into that corner. Oh, and a bad misread off of Kaloshi's hand. And Westbury's starting to come back in this. It's 19-12 Brooklyn now.
A little bit there. 3 straight points just like that for Old Westbury.
And these have been off of some return errors by Brooklyn. You don't want to give free points to Westbury. Not at this juncture. Ash Santos ready to serve.
You're right there at the doorstep of winning this third set and the game.
Serving it over. Dug out by Zakortos. And this time, Kaloshi was able to end the run of Old Westbury. And the Bulldogs go up 20-12 and are just 5 points away from winning this game. Back in comes Zandani. We have score update. We're in the final 26 seconds of the third quarter. It's 50-37. Baruch leading by 13. And Brooklyn College was victorious, winning 82-37. 21 points for Dior Dorsey, which led the way for the Bulldogs tonight. Dug out of the ground. Zakortos with a good save. And Simon with a good impactful shot. We get looks like a double hit by Brooklyn, or they went over the net. Might have been a net violation. And it's 20-13, Brooklyn leading. And back to serve is going to be Villamil now. Villamil readies the serve. Serves it up. Good dig by Zakortos. That was a good hard serve by Villamil. Oh, and right off the block. Oh. I thought that went off the hand of Westbury there, unless was it out of bounds or were they out of bounds?
I think the positioning of the ball was out of bounds. Yep.
And now the Brooklyn lead down to 6. Oh, and another miss hit, and just like that, now it's 20-15.
Now it's just a 5-point game. At one point was a 10-point lead.
And Old Westbury on
a 6-1 run here.
Dug out by Zondani. Kept alive by the Bulldogs. And this time Aaron Sue put it home, ending the run. Bulldogs up 21-15. Bulldogs trying to put this away soon. Now they're 4 points away. But Westbury, a couple of forehand, some errors here have allowed Westbury to come right back in this set.
Brooklyn needs to put this away before this set gets into jeopardy.
Zhang will serve it. And dropped down and buried by Fredericks. Bulldogs lead 21-16, and they will go back on defense.
We saw Brooklyn do this against Baruch last week. Have a big deficit and slowly start coming back, making the end of the set competitive.
And now to serve will be Kelb. Dug out, good save. And good drop at the net. Oh, it was around the net. So that's a point for Westbury.
Yeah, it went around, It went around instead of straight down. Point for Westbury right
now
there.
It's a 4-point lead for Brooklyn. The lead is quickly getting away from Brooklyn here. So court was Zondani. And Flanders tried to go for the kill, could not save that. And that is too long out of bounds by Westbury. And that puts Brooklyn now just 3 points away. It's 22-17.
Good job by Zondani there, recognizing that the ball was going to go out of bounds and just let it go.
You have to make sure, definitely, you know the ball's out of bounds. That's a point for you. No need to go after it. Simon will now serve. Good hard serve into the body of Villanelle. Good knock over the net. Yep, and Bulldogs get the point. I thought for a brief minute it might have been over the hand, but it was not the case. Bulldogs are 2 points away from taking this game. Back to serve is Stefan Simon. Serves it over the net. And that is in for a service ace. And now it's match point for Brooklyn.
Match point, Brooklyn immediately turning up the pressure, 3 straight points. And Jonathan, that momentum that they had in the middle of this set is starting to come back to them.
Yep, and at a very important time as well. And now, match point, Simon to serve. Does he go for that corner again? Not quite. He tried to go and hit it into the net a little too strong. So one match point is saved. It's 24-18. And back to serve will be number 12. That's Eisel.
Old Westbury is going to need to score 6 straight points here.
Well, let's see what happens here. I've seen crazier things happen. Eisel will serve it up. Good dig by Zakortos. And Sue got it in, and that's the game. The Brooklyn College Bulldogs, in a 3-set sweep, knock off Westbury 25-18. As the Bulldogs take this in 3 straight sets, very impressive victory, Sean, for the Bulldogs. You have to love how they came out. You have to love how they, even when Westbury was knocking on the door a little bit, they still kept going, and they were able to find themselves and were able to put Westbury away at the critical moments.
They were able to put Westbury away at the critical moments. 4 straight points. As Old Westbury got that 12-point deficit within 4. Really seemed like they started to turn the corner, but Brooklyn came together at the perfect time once again to close it out 3-0. Definitely the most complete performance of this team thus far this season, as they now move on to 4-9 overall.
And more importantly for the Bulldogs, that ends a 6-game losing streak, and you had to think that was weighing on the minds of the Bulldogs too. A couple of games that you felt like they were right there. Just a couple of, maybe a set or two had gone a little differently. Who knows what would have happened? But the Bulldogs are back in the win column. They will go to 4-9, and that was very important that the Bulldogs get themselves back on the right note here. And now they have some games ahead of them here, and we'll see where things go from here. But for men's volleyball, you got to like where they're heading. Their next game will be 9 days from now at home against York College, following the President's Day break.
Right.
And right now, Sean, if you're Brooklyn, how important was it for them to get a win like this and to just have something to go into the break and on a positive note?
Absolutely, it gives you momentum, and it gives you it lifts the weight off the shoulders.
And we're going to get the first of our Bulldogs here to join us, and it's going to be Joaquin Calderon. We'll get him on the mic momentarily. All right. Let's bring in Mr. Calderon. Joaquin, tremendous victory. First of all,
Thanks, guys.
this club had lost 6 in a row. For you guys to snap the skid and play a complete performance tonight against Westbury, how important was it to get a win like this?
I think it was very important for us, especially after the 6-game losing streak. You know, our morale was definitely low, and coming into this and getting this victory, you could see from the bench it definitely boosted us. So,
What allowed you guys to stay consistent, even when it seemed like that third set was going away from you guys? They cut it to within 3. You guys scored 4 straight points. What allowed you guys to get back into the game?
I just think the experience from previous games. You know, a lot of the times we are slow during our first set. You know, we might win our first set, be slow the next one, but then just keeping our composure definitely helps us fight through that.
You guys really came out swinging from the first set, and then once about the middle of the second set, that's when you guys really locked in and were able to put the finishing points away. When you guys are able to build that momentum, and when you and Aaron Sue were able to perform the combination of kills that you guys are able to put together, I mean, how lethal does it make this Bulldogs team?
It makes us very lethal. You know, during our game against Baruch, you know, we were able to showcase that coming back from 10, 11-point deficit even in the first set, you know, and then in the second set being able to take it. When we're on point, I think we are a real contender, you know, in this conference.
And how important is it now for you guys to, on a winning note, to go into the holiday break? Next game here at home will be against York on the 27th.
I think it's really important for our health. You know, we've been playing a lot of games. I think it'll definitely help us out coming back, getting this week off. I think it's very important.
How do you rank this team compared where you guys are now to where you guys see yourselves going towards the end of the year, especially comparing yourselves to other CUNYAC teams? Where do you guys feel like you fit within that threshold?
You know, like I said before, I think when we're on point, we're real contenders. You know, I think we fit right in there with all of the top teams. When our passing is good, when our side out is good, when our service is good, everything is there, you know.
Absolutely.
We're definitely up there with them.
And you and Aaron will be very important pieces going forward as the season continues.
Right,
Joaquin, thank you so much for your time.
Congrats,
all right. That was Joaquin Calderon. You guys can go ahead. All right. And we're going to bring in our next, there we go. We'll bring in our second star of the game, and that is Aaron Sue. Aaron, tremendous win. Both you and Joaquin Calderon, just an incredible combination of killers.
Thank you.
And how important was it for you guys to go into the break, ending a 6-game losing streak and coming out on a winning note?
Well, usually it's just like compared to last year, usually it was like our morale was very down after our losing streak. But I think this year we took each game as like a learning experience, and it didn't bring us down as much. So every time we had practice or another game ahead, we just made sure we had held our heads high.
Coach Chowdhury has talked a lot. You're really now coming into your own now, into your second season, learning how to take things off the shot, not always having to go for the hard hit all the time. And you're now really beginning to adjust that into your game. And just how important is it to continue with these progressions and to become a full package, all-around type player?
I think it's very important to learn new shots and just build like an arsenal I can use. But at the end of the day, it's more like it's how my setter David sets the ball, like how fast. Because compared to other hitters on other teams, I'm significantly shorter than them. So I think a big arsenal helps me a lot to score points.
What allows you guys to stay together through the ups and downs as a team? We've seen you in this game serve multiple times. The whole bench chants Sue as you put the ball up. What allows you guys to stay together regardless of what's going on in the game?
Well, we like to huddle together. Like usually, if someone makes a mistake, we would like to gather around them and tell them it's okay. We'll get the next one, and usually it makes it a lot better.
Absolutely. As you guys now go into the break, your next home game will be against York. How important is it for you guys to really start to build that winning streak now, to string a couple of wins together here as the season goes on?
Especially since we're starting the CUNY League now, the CUNY games, I think it's very important because each game matters in terms of where we place in the playoffs and who we play in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Aaron Sue, thank you so much for your time. Congrats on the victory.
Thank you, Aaron. Congrats.
All right. So the Brooklyn College Bulldogs, very impressive. They win a 3-set sweep at bringing Pat Brown on the mic with us. And Pat, how important was it for the Bulldogs to really establish themselves early and come out playing right from the gate swinging?
I think it was really important for them to establish themselves just because of what happened in the tri-match. They didn't play their best. It's on their home court. It's only the second time they've been here at the West Quad Gymnasium. So putting forth the effort, hitting their spots, being on the attack, and I think defensively they did a very good job of not having a lot of return errors.
That was very huge as well. And I think one of the great things is you saw them moving around a lot better. You saw good players picking up the ball a lot better. And I can tell you when Sue and Calderon are out there together, and I've only seen this in one game so far, man, that combination is scary.
And don't forget, you got Kaloshi too.
Mm-hmm.
He put away about, I think he had 9 kills
at least. We'll get the full stats for the third when we have a moment.
I thought I gave you the stats. I thought I did.
No, we only have the first two. No worries.
Okay.
We'll get those stats in a minute. But right now, yeah. But based on, but seeing how Kaloshi, seeing how Sue, and seeing how Calderon have put together this nice combination of 3 killers here that can all, pretty much, you give them some open space. As an opponent, you're in big trouble.
And let's not take away from the digging of Sikorsky and Zandani.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the Bulldogs have something here. I think they have something where they can really establish themselves into a legit contender. It's now just a matter of stringing those games together, and just the results will come with time.
Especially when you have a player like Calderon that's just a freshman, already 6'8", big size, has power. That's something. That's a player that you definitely want to build around going on to the future. This team has very positive outlooks. Last week and this week, they were even better. So this team 4-9 definitely has a good chance to build up momentum after the break.
And he's a freshman.
Yeah.
And he's 6'8". Right. I mean, that is. I don't think I've ever seen 6'8" in volleyball. That is and he's very athletic for 6'8". That's what makes him so.
Can he play basketball?
Anything's possible. Hey, we've had a couple players on the Bulldogs that were on the women's volleyball that played basketball too. We've seen Aaliyah. Aaliyah was a great volleyball player and now playing basketball in her final season. So I'd say anything's possible, no doubt. So now as the Bulldogs.
Oh, by the way,
yeah.
Baruch has solidified the number 2 spot. They're up by 16 with half a million fourth quarter. Women are solidified in the 3rd spot, so they'll be here Saturday against Mega Everest.
And that game will be on the 22nd of February. More than likely, the women's game will be at around 12 noon, followed by the men.
If they're able to beat City College, right?
They will play City. Their game is underway right about now as we speak. We'll have to provide that update for you off the air. We won't be able to provide it here on the air as the game just began. But right now, if you're Brooklyn, how are the women going to go out now, knowing this is what's right in front of them? They're going to have to be playing a quarterfinal, something they haven't done in a number of years.
It's the first time in 4 years that they actually have to play a quarterfinal game. The good thing is at home. Mm-hmm. Is against a familiar opponent, Mega Everest.
Mm-hmm. A team that they just played.
Yeah, they just played. And it's going to be how can they take care of Casada and Davis. Even though they didn't play a whole lot in the last game here, you got to know that they're going to play a whole lot of minutes in that game on Saturday.
Without a doubt. And I trust the men are going to have to find the same game now. Regardless of what happens, I think they're just going to end up playing City College again literally the following day, which is kind of
this game
crazy
tonight
how that works
determines
out.
Who will host that quarterfinal game.
All right.
And then you're just going to play the same opponent. So this is, I don't know who you give the advantage to in this. Like, if let's say the Bulldogs were to find a way to win tonight, then you're going to play the City again, and they've had barely a couple days to look at film. Oh, that's how they played last time. Now we're going to adjust in the
I think the advantage goes to whoever team wins tonight. Because now, psychologically, you're in the mind of your opponent.
Because momentum always carries over
into
the next game. And we saw Brooklyn a few weeks ago beat them here at the West Quad. Definitely a competitive game. So that's definitely a close matchup. So whoever wins tonight will have that momentum carry over into Saturday at home.
Well, we're going to find out very soon. We're going to find out by this weekend. And we'll find out by the end of today with the men against City College. We're going to see how ready these teams are now come playoff time. The women have completed their season, and they did finish it off on a good note, finishing 14-11 on the year. Now it's a matter of, can they put that all together now from what they have done in the last 3 games? Can they take that into the playoffs?
You know, the good thing is that everybody on the women's team is now healthy.
That's big.
They don't have any injuries. They're all hitting on all cylinders. And most of the teams in CUNYAC haven't seen them at full strength. They've only been full strength for the last week.
So how much more capable or how much more dangerous are they at full strength is what we're going to find out when the women play their next game, which will be here at the Quad this weekend. But right now, your final score, the men's volleyball in 3 sets, end a 6-game losing streak. They sweep SUNY Old Westbury, and they will go into the break. Your college awaits them here at the Quad on the 27th of February. And we will have live coverage of that. We will have live coverage of this weekend's CUNYAC quarterfinal game. Whether it will be a doubleheader is a little up in the air. We know the women are going to be here, and we will have the call for that game at 12 noon. But for right now, for Sean Markusik, Pat Brown, our entire team, for Shazib, for Mike, I'm Jonathan Pariente saying so long from the West Quad Gymnasium
Good night.
at Brooklyn College.
Good night, guys.
Have a good night, everybody.